Hello and welcome to episode 25 of Kitze. In this podcast, I'm talking about my personal self-development journey and trying to make it in life, whatever that means. We're going to discuss habits, routines, pomodoros, work-life balance, working out, healthy food, life hacks, being a dad, self-help books, running startups, creating apps, etc. So if that's your cup of tea, walk with me, put on your headphones, put on your shoes, go outside for a walk. Topic of the day is why I moved to Poland. I'm finally going to answer a listener question before I go into the other shit. There's a lot to talk about. Don't forget to send me video or comment questions. I'm going to answer 2 questions today. And yeah, that's it. Oh, I totally forgot we're going to do a Benji review. So I kind of didn't prepare Benji because I spent mostly the entire day without checking my... I've checked my habits, but I didn't check the other shit. So I'm going to pause. Okay, magically we're back. For you, it was just a second. So, sleep time and sleep score. I haven't checked my Aura Ring because I'm not wearing it. I mentioned the curse about this thing is whenever you take it out to charge it, then I don't wear it for a few days. Then I wear it for 4 or 5 days, and then suddenly it's out of battery. So it takes a week before I get my next score. So I have no freaking idea. All I know is I woke up around 4 a.m. and I was kind of ready to crush the day. You know, I went to the toilet and I'm like, you know what? I should just stay up. And then I just go to the bed and I ask my wife, like, should I stay up? And she's like, no, learn your lesson. You always hate it when you wake up too fucking early. And then you complain about your day, go to sleep. And suddenly I continued sleeping. I went through my alarm at 7 o'clock and I slept around until 8 o'clock and I felt great. Hydration, as always, this puppy's helping. Fasting, started another fast, finished one fast. Weight, I measured my weight and I think I'm at my lowest weight today. So it's 94.3, I think. I'm not sure. My phone is not around me, so that's the only way for me to check it. I'm asking this stupid fucking watch. It still cannot tell me Apple Health stats. One day, Benji's going to have a native app. Especially now that Apple is going to ban PWA apps in the EU. So you won't be able to have like a web app that acts like an app on your phone in the European Union. So I guess it's inevitable soon to start working on a Benji app, which is going to read your Apple Health metrics and automatically put them into Benji. So I think my weight is at my lowest, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to write anything there. Workout, crushed the workout today. Walking, I did, let's see, around 8,000 steps, and I'm planning to walk my dog. I'm going to try to make 10,000 steps, even though I said on the workout days, it's fine if I don't do 10,000 steps because the workout is hard. Meals, I forgot to log them, so pause, and boom, we're back. I think I only had 2 meals today. Like, I kind of skipped breakfast, and I only had this, like, the oatmeal around 1:30 p.m. That was, like, my fast was really long today, probably longer than 20 hours. And I ate around 1:30 p.m., and then I just had rice around 4:30. These times are not correct. I'm not tracking the time. I need to fix this where the time of the food doesn't show like this. Yeah, so food is 100% great score. Pomodoros, it says 5 hours and 17 minutes, but I have more than this because I think I forgot to do a single Pomodoro. Yeah, but I have around 6 hours of work today. Finally, the work is back. We're going to talk about it. And let's look at the habits and we can close Benji and then we can talk about moving to Poland before I talk about my day because I'll never get to it otherwise. This is definitely not what I wanted to go to. What the fuck was that? This is personal? No, there's like a list. Personal brush teeth. So I have these lists that are not that important, and I'm always opening the overview list. Okay, so the overview is definitely not. The overview is personal. Yeah. One habit that I added, and I'm going to remove this because you're seeing too many reds, so I'm going to pin this sidebar. The morning was not that bad. Again, it's cold outside. Didn't walk Benji. Didn't get the sunlight. The iPad is still unlocked, so I was doing social as soon as I woke up. The plank is still not part of my routine. I'll get there. Everything else is pretty similar. Yesterday, I started drinking collagen because my wife started drinking it, researched it. It has good benefits, yada, yada, yada. I didn't trust her until I saw someone on Twitter taking a picture. No, actually, he had, I have a call with him soon. Mark Grabansky, I think, from Front End Masters. We're going to have a call soon, next week, I think. And I went on his website. He has like some supplements thing. And one of his supplements was this collagen. I don't remember the brand. I know it's like a bluish bottle thingy. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh, that's the same thing that my wife recommended. But I'm definitely I need at least 2 people to tell me that something is good. And I'm like, fine. So in my athletic greens, I just put 1 scoop of this. And as you can see, I'm younger. I'm 19 now. So it was great. I started drinking it for a couple of days. So I don't expect anything for now. I changed this habit from 4 hours to coding to 3 hours of coding just so I can feel like it's achievable. Today I did 3 hours and 45 minutes, which is better than 0. So we're getting somewhere. So for now, I'll feel happy if I check for 3 hours of coding. We don't talk about a night routine for now, only magnesium. Protein, I still don't have freaking protein at home. And regarding the sauna, I decided, so there's a change in my routine. Again, so let me just, like, the sauna might happen or might not happen. Let me just switch back to my face and explain about this. So the change that I did today is I decided to, I think I mentioned this yesterday, of this woman that I watched her vlog about her day, that workout is too exhausting in the morning. So this morning I decided just to wake up, I take my dog, I put him in the yard like this. Like the first time he puts his feet, paws on the ground, is not in the living room, it's outside, just so he can go and pee. So I put him outside, I feel the cold air, I'm in my pajamas, just groggy like that, and the cold air just wakes me up a little bit. I see the dog has peed, I make decaf, instant, Nescafe, without all of the bullshit, without, spraying the coffee beans, even though we have a coffee machine and my wife has coffee beans and all that shit. I don't like it. 2 scoops of instant decaf with hot water and this big ass bottle. Took them downstairs, started recording the course. I recorded like 6 to 7 videos today. And I lowered the deadline of the course to 26th of February. So if I continue recording, now I'm into it. I just want to clear everything and focus on one thing. When I focus on one thing, I'm fucking unstoppable. If I start thinking, oh, but what about the bugs in Benji? Oh, what about Sissy? No, fuck it. I'm going to finish this course, get it out of the way. And it felt nice today. So I decided I'm a little bit of an idiot for waking up in the morning, then having some sort of morning routine, then having some, let's actually walk for an hour, then let's work out for 45 minutes, let's do sauna for 15 minutes, let's do breathing for 5 minutes. Like, when you start work at 11:30, like, fuck it. Like, I realized if work is my biggest problem right now, that's the thing that I need to focus on in the morning. That's where I want my energy to go. I still did my workout at 3 p.m. I absolutely crushed my workout at 3 p.m. But I felt more energetic. And honestly, this is one of my happiest days. In the recent, I don't know how many vlogs I've been complaining, this is what I want. Wake up, coffee, water, work, get the work out of the way, at least until I get the course out of the way. So I also read the tweet from Pat Walls. He is the founder of Starter Story. I was also supposed to have a meeting with him. He has this trend recently. He's like, this is my morning routine. I open my eyes. I walk towards the nearest Starbucks. I order the biggest coffee that they have. I open my laptop and I do I turn off my phone. I block off websites on my computer and I do 4 hours of focused work. And I fucking love it because everyone is promoting on YouTube and on podcasts. And if you listen to Andrew Huberman, you should do a 7-hour morning routine and start working at night. Like, I like going back to this, especially like when this is a priority, when it's something like a fire is burning literally. And I'm like, there's too many things to work on. And what am I doing? Chilling in a sauna. So I decided to switch the sauna. We're going to do it at night with my wife. So as soon as I finish this podcast and she's done with putting the baby down to sleep, like, we can go and chill in the sauna instead of just sitting and talking in the living room. Yesterday we spent time in the sauna and it was actually nicer. And I'm like, how about doing this? So in the morning, no bullshit, no workouts, whatever. Workout can still stay at 3 o'clock, but I know at 4 o'clock it's time for lunch. So from 3 to 4, I do the workout. I'm done with that. I take a cold shower and then I go upstairs for lunch. Today I felt happy as fuck, dude. This is what I wanted. Like, you might be thinking when I procrastinate or when I go to the dentist and this and that I actually like that. I don't like that shit. I like working hard. I like working a lot. It's just things were messed up and this is what I like for now. So I don't want, a long morning routine. I don't want to work out in the morning because after I finish the workout, now, like a few hours later, I started feeling exhausted. Like, I can barely talk right now. I feel all my muscles hurt from the workout. And if I do that in the morning, I will feel like this in the middle of my work day. I'll be like, oh, I cannot do my work. Let me just go upstairs and grab something. So I like this. Let's just go back to answering the question. And then I'm going to go back to my day and talking about other random shit. So the question from someone was, actually, someone asked me on Telegram, and I was like, this is actually a good thing to answer on the podcast, is why move to Poland? And so many people ask me this, and Polish people love this question. Every time you tell a Polish person that you voluntarily moved to Poland, they're like, oh, are you crazy? How do you say that in Polish? Czy jesteś? Well, I don't know the word for crazy, but yeah, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you voluntarily move to Poland? And I think this has a lot to do with where you're born. And I keep telling them, but they cannot know the feeling, dude. I come from a country where there's nothing, literally. There's no bike lanes. There's no laws. There's no justice system. There's no healthcare system. There's no, like, there wasn't a food delivery app until a couple of years ago. Like, you literally come from nothing. Like, we grew up luckily alive in that country. Now you move to Europe where there's fucking everything. And even in Netherlands, I remember the first time I moved somewhere, I lived in Netherlands, and I asked my neighbor, who ironically asked the question. He asked me on Telegram, the neighbor who I lived with next to in Netherlands, basically. He's called Sam. And he texted me on Telegram about why Poland. So I remember asking him because he moved to Netherlands before me. And I'm like, hey, so what sucks about this country? Tell me what sucks, and I'll know like what are the worst things about the country. And I swear to God, he turns on a loading spinner for a second, and he is like, well, in McDonald's, and and I'm like, dude, if you start the answer with in McDonald's is the perfect country, because ask me what's wrong in Macedonia. Like I keep on Evernote, yes, Evernote from 10 years ago, probably 11 years ago. Anytime something bugged me in Macedonia, I would just add it to this Evernote. I ran out of space. Evernote was like, hey, we have to delete your account. You take most of our space. Because there are a lot of people who, you know, cope with like, I'm sorry if I'm insulting someone living in Macedonia, because that's not my intention. But if you really see hope, like year after year, you see all of the shit that's happening in the country, like from politics, from healthcare, from like how they handled COVID, from fucking everything. You know there's no future. You know it's not going to get better, but you still have this copium of like, maybe, whatever. I didn't want to feel that, because really, like, when the polluted air will end, starting from, let's say, it starts from November and it ends in May. So it's like you cannot open a window. Like you start forgetting and you're like, it's summer, whatever. Then in summer, it's like, especially in the capital, like super insanely hot. And you're like, whatever, it's going to be autumn soon. So you keep forgetting. Your boy didn't want to forget. I wrote every fucking thing down. So when someone asked me, why'd you move out of Macedonia? I'm like, let me pull out the Evernote. What's the password? I don't know. My childhood crush probably, because I opened it out of my mother's womb. I was like, let me open an Evernote and complain about the birth process in this country. So I have this huge list, and this motherfucker in Netherlands is like, in McDonald's, when they give you the McFlurry, in the menu, if it says it's with chocolate sprinkles, but you ask with something else, they don't make it for you. And I'm like, hey, you need to live where I grew up for a while to just go and kiss the person in McDonald's and be like, thank you for your service. I love you, right? Speaking of service, no service. Like, I always thought that people who lived abroad for a while and they came back to Macedonia, I thought they were dicks. I'm like, just because you lived in Europe or in America doesn't mean you have to be. And then I got it, dude. I lived abroad for a while, and I'm like, you go back and you see how, like, waiters and how service, like, you go to any supermarket, you see, they look at you like, what do you want? Like, everyone is so rude and so dick, but you need to go outside for a while to come back to be like, oh, shit, it is like that. So anyway, that was many reasons why I moved out. I went to the Netherlands. The Netherlands is fucking great, except it rains all the motherfucking time. And it's too expensive for what it offers. Like, I hated the rain because I have a dog and I have Benji. As you know, Benji is my app, and Benji, the app, is named after my dog. And dude, when it rains 90% of the time, it's fucking infuriating. Not for me. I'll stay at home. I'll game. I'll do whatever. But when I take out the dog, like, he'll get messy. Most of the time, we wouldn't even go out. So that was one of the reasons. Like, the main reason why I decided to move out of the Netherlands was because I quit the clients. Why I moved to the Netherlands first is because I had clients from the Netherlands who invited me to my first React conference. And I just saw Utrecht and Amsterdam and was like, holy shit, all of this is amazing. And I decided, well, I have clients there. They also opened an office there, so from time to time I would go to the office. So they were kind of the main reason why I decided to try the country. But when I decided to quit all of that and start React Academy and start teaching workshops, there was nothing tying me to Netherlands anymore, and I wanted to explore more countries. So what I did, and I have a picture, I sold everything that I had, and I was that guy who had a fucking suitcase and a backpack. And I decided I'm going to do the nomad thing where we go in different cities and really know it. Like, I remember talking to my mom, like, after visiting, like, me and my wife, we were traveling places and going to Airbnbs, and I don't know even in which cities or countries we were. But I remember coming back and just asking my mom, Mom, we went to this Airbnb, and this guy had so many possessions. Like, he had cables, and he had pictures on the wall. Like, oh, I wouldn't imagine what it's like to live with this many possessions. And just come to my house right now. So many fucking possessions. I cannot imagine living as a nomad again. So I remember we were chilling in Macedonia, and my wife bought me this facts about Europe, whatever. Like, you would open a page, and there's a country there, and for the country, you know all the facts or whatever it was. So we opened the thing. We're joking around about moving somewhere, and like, we see Poland, and my wife is like, why don't we try it there? Because you have origins from there. So now, tangents on tangents, let's go to my origins in Poland. So my grandma and grandpa, this one is interesting, were born in Macedonia, but like, I'm gonna butcher, like, I know shit about history, dude. So if you know shit about history and politics and whatever, like, please feel free to explain in the comments, because I had no fucking idea what actually happened. I just know they were in a part of Macedonia that's currently in Greece. So back then it was Macedonia. I don't mean to start anything political. If you're from Greece, I don't give a shit both about Greece or Macedonia or their conflict. Equally don't give a shit about both. I just know that they lived there in that part, so more happened, whatever the fuck happened. My grandpa and grandma, I think they were from the same village, but they didn't know each other because my grandma was a baby, and he was, I don't know how old he was. He was an older kid. So they both go, like, they take them on boats or whatever, and my without their mother, father, like everyone, like there's war and everyone scatters around. They take all the children on boats, and like there's many sad stories, man. Like it's hard to talk about this shit, especially when I've heard it a billion times from my grandma. Like when you make that your life story, and I don't blame her for wanting to talk about that, because like that's the most traumatic shit that can happen. I don't wish that happening to anyone. So she got moved somewhere in Poland. I don't know which city. I think Szczecin or Police or something like that. And my grandpa gets moved to the Czech Republic, I think in Brno, but I'm not sure what was his first city. Maybe he studied in Brno. I don't think no, he didn't study. He like high school. They both didn't go to college. Anyway, when they grow up, they both grew up, one in Poland, one in Czech Republic. There's some international gatherings, whatever the hell. Somehow they meet, they fall in love. They have my dad in Poland. So they move in Poland, they live in Poland. I mean, my grandpa moves also in Poland. They both live in Poland. They have my dad there. They have my uncle there. They're both a couple of years old. And so they all collectively decide, for one reason only, to move to Macedonia. Because they were like, what about our roots? Our hearts belong there. Poor people didn't have Google Maps or Wikipedia or Google Images to see what the fuck was happening there. I'm talking about years and years and years ago. Like nothing, if nothing is properly developed now, you can imagine what it was like 50 years ago or something. It was freaking horrible. Like I remember my grandma, like she was traumatized. She was crying because in Poland, she was used to, like the guys and the girls, like everyone was going out when it comes to these dances and gatherings and whatever. And in Macedonia, she was like, hey, so when do we go out? And my grandpa was like, women don't, like, they don't go out here. It's only men gathering and just talking all night. So we don't do the women thing. And she was like, what the fuck? Or going to supermarket, she was just baffled by people touching the breads. Like here, when you go to a supermarket, you have these special gloves, and probably in Europe you have them everywhere, where you nylon gloves, you touch the breads. Where I was born, in my city, dude, they would lick the bread. They would be like, touch, lick a little bit, see if everything's good, and then they would take one. It's disgusting. When she saw that for the first time, she was like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's not get too much into it. It's about my story and why I moved to Poland. So my entire life, like they moved back to Macedonia, and that's where my dad meets my mom, boy meets girl, yada, yada, yada. So they live in Macedonia, but my grandma wouldn't shut up about how great is Poland. For her entire life, she's like, and the parks, and the nature, and when I was a little girl, and about all of these things. And she makes you fall in love with this country. You start idealizing this country. Like, this is the place where my father was born. She shows you pictures. That's where she grew up. And we opened that, whatever it was, the encyclopedia that my wife bought me. And we see Poland. And she's like, well, you have Polish citizenship. I got, like, the doors to me living in Europe opened by the fact that I got Polish citizenship because my dad was born there. The day, dude, when I got a foreign passport, like, I can live in European Union anywhere. Like, I was out of Macedonia immediately. That's when I moved to Netherlands. So we decided to move to Poland, but where? And I like the sea, I like forest, I like nature. And I wouldn't live in any other city in Poland than this one right now. So we decided to move to Gdańsk. I have no idea how we picked it, honestly. Maybe because it had sea or whatever. I remember tweeting it. You can still find my tweet. Just go to the Kitze, Gdańsk, and you'll find it. It's an old tweet, 2018, I think. Just me asking about Gdańsk and how good is it and blah, blah, blah. So we come here, we move here, and I'm like, holy freaking crap. Because I lived in Netherlands where the quality of life is like very, very high, but it's expensive as a motherfucker. Then you move to Poland where the quality of life is like very, very high, but it's not expensive as a motherfucker. Restaurants, services, everything is like way cheaper. It's not cheap as fuck like in some other countries, but it's actually cheaper than Netherlands. Ironically, there's some things here which are cheaper and better than Macedonia. Like, people make less in Macedonia, and that's what breaks my heart, honestly. Like, the system is so fucking fucked up that, like, when my parents would come here, now they live here, they would go to supermarkets and they're like, what the fuck, this is even cheaper than Macedonia. Like, what the hell is going on? Or you would pay for like 4G internet or whatever, and it's like peanuts with the amount of internet that you get. In Macedonia, you have to pay a lot, but you get shitty internet with more limits. So there's a lot of these examples. I don't want to get into it. So everything was cheaper, but still higher quality. Another thing, I don't know why people have this wrong opinion about Poland, like not being technologically advanced or whatever. It's way more advanced than most of Europe, I would say this. Like, when I went to Italy, like, I went to a couple of cities. Dude, I go to the subway, not the subway, the restaurant, and I need to pay for the subway, and they ask me for coins. And I'm like, cool, but who's the king in this country? Cool, but which age is it, that you have to go to the thing? And I'm just used here, honestly. I haven't used cash since we moved in. I remember since we fucking moved in, everywhere, down to the latest street market where they sell like a couple of blocks of cheese. Like, you can pay with Apple Watch, because Apple Watch, you can use it everywhere where you can use a terminal. Anywhere you can pay with a card. So I go to Italy and I go to the subway and I go to buy a ticket and I'm like, oh, coins only. What the fuck, dude? I gotta get cash. I went to Portugal, Lisbon. I couldn't buy water. Like my mouth was drying because I went to like 15 places. Like no card, sorry. You go to Germany, their flag soon will be cash only. Like every fucking place. You go to a museum, you go to a restaurant, you go to this big ass fucking sign in German saying this is Karten, something like no card. So and then they're gonna talk shit about Poland, not Germany, but everyone's gonna be like, oh well, I don't know, Poland in the Second World War doesn't fucking matter. They bounce back, motherfuckers. They're killing it right now. So the e-commerce system here is absolutely insane. Like if I show you all the online websites, how fast they work, how good they work, how interconnected everything is, like 3 minutes away from home, we have this thing called Paczkomat, which is like, there's this meme about if Poland is the first to conquer Mars, like on Mars, you're going to get a Żabka and you get a Paczkomat. Those are the two things. Żabka is the supermarket. That's a meme. Whenever, like, if I just open this window, probably there's a Żabka in my yard. Żabka is freaking everywhere. And then you have Paczkomat, which is like these boxes where packages arrive. And it's fucking amazing, dude. Like, if I want to send a package to a friend or to someone, instead of going to the post office and dealing with all of that shit, I go online, I write their address, they give me a code, I go to the Paczkomat, I just shove my thing in it, I scan the code, and it just gets sent and delivered to my friend's address, which is fucking amazing. Or you plan that you're not at home, instead of getting deliveries at home, you get into this thing. I haven't seen many of these things in other countries. And I've read online a lot of people praising the e-commerce in Poland, and they actually miss it. If they move to a country, they're like, holy shit, I didn't realize that e-commerce was that good. Next point, it's clean as hell. Like I remember last year, we traveled to Berlin. I don't know what was it for. And just the first time, I've been to Berlin before. The first impression, it was, holy shit, it's so dirty. Like so fucking dirty. When we arrived to that train station, it was I think it was maybe the main train stations. Like just dirty from envelopes and like it reminded me a lot of Macedonia, honestly. Like a lot of shit on the ground, like food packaging and like actual food on the ground. So many homeless people at the train station. I don't remember last time I saw a homeless person here. There's like one place where they gather to eat, like it's a community service thingy, but you don't see them like on the ground everywhere. And it's baffling when you go to a city like Paris, London, and Berlin like shocked me. Like let's not talk about the homeless, like that's the problem of the system and society and yada yada yada. But it was very, very dirty, and I'm like, we don't appreciate it. And everyone who comes here to visit us, like we'll take them to any fucking neighborhood or the center of the city, and there's plenty of tourists and there are plenty of expats and everything, and it's still clean as fuck. I don't know how they do it, but like their mentality is so different than in Macedonia. I remember going to the gym and my trainer just keeps looking down, and I'm like, what are you looking at? And he's like, look at that trash can. It's kind of overflowing and no one has picked it all day. And I'm like, oh, sweetheart. Oh, honey. Like, dude, everyone needs to live in Macedonia for like 6 months. You go back to your countries and you start kissing the fucking pavement. I remember when I was a kid, like, my parents had like a business, and across the business, like there's this big building. Like trash literally falls down from people's balconies. I don't know if I mentioned this on a podcast. I just want to show you how half of the world lives. Like literally people don't even bother to go to the place to throw the thing, even though it's overflowing, right? Like they would just throw it from the balcony. Guess where it falls? On the ground. Guess who walks on the ground? The same idiots who throws it would have to walk on that ground like that afternoon probably. It's insane. So here they were like, oh my God, the trash is overflowing a little bit. Like everyone is very mindful about this shit. And you get used to it. I remember my grandma just complaining about how everyone throws their trash. And she would carry her trash in a pocket, even in Macedonia. She was trying to be a Polish person in Macedonia. Like keeps it in a pocket until there's a trash can, she throws it there. Most people finish something, they just throw it around. So this shift of mentality is very, very weird. People know how to stand in line. People know how to, be polite. Let you, like if you have only one thing of groceries, they would be like, yeah, go ahead. Then you get used to that and you're like, okay, I have a lot of groceries and this grandma has only one. You go ahead. And you get used to, I think people copy from each other. And the difference that I see in Europe and in Poland and in the Netherlands is people copy the good stuff. So you're trying to be as good as possible because this person does good and that person does good. And in Macedonia, it was like, that guy parked there. So whatever, I'll also park there. Oh, that guy left the shopping cart there. I'll also leave the shopping cart there. So everyone copies the bad behavior. And there's like a, global situation. So yeah. One of the biggest reasons, as I said, is being close to the sea. Like when I show my friends like pictures of the beach here in Sopot and in Gdansk, like swear to God, better than most of the beaches in Greece. Now the sea is not the same, definitely, but the beach, like the sand, if you want to just go and chill, like the texture is like so freaking amazing. Like I was amazed the first time I went. I'm like, wait, why did no one tell me this fact about Poland, that it has amazing beaches? Like, and even if you drive a little bit further from the city, like you can find very, very, very clean water. Like it's not that warm, of course, unless the weather is like 24 to 28 degrees for like a week, then the water will be warmer. But in summer, like especially in the previous apartment, I was 10 minutes away by bike, And in the previous apartment, it was like that. But in the previous apartment, we could walk to the beach. It was like a 5-minute walk. So we went a lot. I was swimming a lot. My wife is not a big fan of beach and sand, but I am. So every opportunity, I would grab the bike, go for a swim. And I got used to it. I didn't care if is the water warm or not warm. I just wanted to take that experience, especially when the day is longer. You can go around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. There's not that many people. You can go for a swim. And I wouldn't change, like I wouldn't live in a city right now that doesn't have the beach where I can just bike, go there, swim, especially now with a kid. Like it's going to be so amazing where in the summer, you can take her, she can play in the sand. Like I would not move to any other city, no matter the quality of life. Like it doesn't have a beach, bye, see ya. A lot of nature, like there's so many parks, there's so many forests. Like the things that we would drive to, for example, I'm giving Macedonia as an example. Like in order to go to this national park, like we would need to drive probably for 30 minutes. So my mom and dad were driving every weekend just to get away from the city, around 30 minutes just to go to this national park. And a lot of times would be polluted because people would stop with their car. They would just dump everything there. Like it's beautiful. And I'm actually pissed that they're not maintaining that country properly. Like we have some beautiful sites and you should definitely go as a tourist and visit some of the places because they're beautiful. But we go to this national park and I'm like, God damn it, this is beautiful. And I haven't even finished the sentence. I see a Coke can just shoved in between rocks because someone was too lazy to take it with them and not ruin this beautiful site that you have. Anyway, here you get those kind of parks and forests literally in the city. Like we can walk here for like 10 minutes and we go to the same freaking park. You forget that you're in the city for a while. It's amazing. So yeah, and final reason, I guess the weather is definitely better than the Netherlands. I don't enjoy this cold. I don't enjoy the snow, but it's not raining that much. And for most of the year, it's fine. So I'm just comparing Poland to Netherlands, not Poland to other countries. That would be too long of a video to make. So I guess those are my top few reasons that I moved to Poland. Like we just moved for just flipping the map and I'm like, I have the citizenship. And yeah, one of the reasons was like, if Poland pulls off like a Brexit, I wouldn't be able to live in other European countries. I have to stay in Poland. So we were like, let's try it just in case we're ever forced to live in Poland. Let's try it. So we tried it, kind of stayed here. Now we bought a house, kind of learning the language-ish. We still have a long way to learn. We find it easy to learn the language because it's very similar to Macedonian. I can say like there's so many similar words. The grammar is very similar. My grandma is correcting me all the time. She's like, it's not maka, it's moka. And Polish people have all of these. Like, dude, invent more letters instead. Like, how come Macedonian and English doesn't have letters with squiggly things on it, right? We had enough letters in the alphabet. Polish people are like, you see the letter A? Let's put a fucking squiggly below it and maybe above it. And both, they're going to sound 100% different. Still love the language. I find it so cute and so hilarious. Like you can have the same word in Polish and in German, and in Polish something's gonna be like the same thing in German is like so yeah, those are my top reasons. I don't know if I'm gonna stay here forever. I don't see myself staying in one place forever. Like that thought just gives me the I just can't. So probably going to move in around maybe when my daughter starts in school in like 5-6 years, maybe when she starts high school, which is a little bit scarier thought. I don't want to go there. But it really depends on how much we're going to travel. If we start traveling a lot with her, like I wouldn't mind having a base here because having a base here is freaking amazing. Just the view from this house when we open the balcony and you see like a lot of nature. There's like only a couple of houses when you look from our house. It's like all these forests, and especially now in winter and the snow, it's like fucking gorgeous. You won't find that, I don't know, in the middle of London or in some random city. So yeah, Jesus, that was long. That filled almost the entire podcast. So now I'm going to go. There was another question, but I guess I'll answer that one in the next one. I'm going to go through some of the things that I wanted to talk about regarding my day. And let me know if you have more questions about Poland. And sorry if I was too harsh to Macedonians who are listening to this. Didn't mean nothing bad. I'm just telling you about my experience. Yeah, so today your boy decided to ditch everything, made coffee, grabbed the water, and recorded the course. I told MJ, fuck the meeting, let's just do it later. I don't want to do that now. So I postponed the breakfast. I didn't even have food. I didn't walk the dog because I got too much into the recording. And I'm finally back, and I see that deadline moving. I'm going to crush it soon. I was ready to record more, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll upload everything on Monday, when some fucker on Twitter, who's probably doesn't even take my course. I'm pretty sure it's a troll account because when I opened his profile, had a bunch of hate tweets. He said, I mentioned something like, I would cut off my left ear to be 24 again, and he replied, totally irrelevant to the tweet, I would cut off my left ear for you to finish your course. You should have called it 0 to robbed off. Something like that. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, fine. I'll upload. So I uploaded 2.5 hours of material. Some people make their full course to be 2.5 hours. Like this course has so much material. I haven't even counted what is the total, but I think it's definitely going to be above 25 hours of total material, which is insane. That person was trolling. They're not going to watch the course, but I'm happy they actually pushed me to upload the course at the end of the day. So what else? I had a meeting with a conference organizer, so definitely going to Croatia for the InfoBip Shift conference. I think they have early bird tickets, so definitely go grab an early bird ticket. It's going to be insane this year. It's going to be like 6,000 people there, and I think your boy is going to open the conference again. So I can't wait for freaking September, man. It's going to be fucking epic. I'm going to try to vlog that one because last year I was vlogging. I bought this GoPro, especially for vlogging that conference. We went to the Plitvice National Park with Una from Google Chrome and with Ben from ArcGIS, and we had amazing times and jokes and everything, but all of that footage is just sitting somewhere on an SD card. So hopefully this year is going to get uploaded. Wink, wink, we'll see. What else? Context switching versus being focused. I realized that I can do the course and course only, and if I start switching, that's when I lose focus, and that's when I think in the upcoming period, I'm going to go all in and just ignore everything else. Bugs on Benji, customers complaining, like MJ is handling a bunch of things. I just want to go all in on the course and spend most of my waking day just working on the course until I finish it. So there's something powerful. If you're struggling with few things, try to focus and do only one thing. Another thing, I love how things are rolling, man. I feel like, you know, the analogy I made with the car, if you just drive, even if it's the wrong direction, you can just correct it. And things are happening. People are DMing me because of this podcast. They're like, hey, I saw this, you're looking for that, blah, blah, blah. AppSumo contacted me again. They want to do an offer for CZ, meaning AppSumo means there's going to be a ka-ching sound that's going to be loud enough. So if you hear something waking you up, like ka-ching, and you wake up your wife, you're like, what the fuck was that? It's your boy getting stacks. Because AppSumo is one of the most popular marketplaces. And if we pull this off, we're going to fix Linux before that. We're going to fix CZ properly because it takes a while to do a deal with them. They're too rigorous about all of their requirements and shit. But they reached out again. This is their third time. Their third time they're reaching out. I'm not going to fuck this up. I'm going to take that cash. I don't care how much they take, whether they take 30% or no, they take 70%. I don't care. Still going to be a lot of money. The copywriter wrote back to me saying that she's already working on the copy for Zero to Shipped. And she was like, I have a friend who is doing analytics. He needs some projects as a hobby to work on them. He would even work for free. And I'm like, I totally didn't expect that. So that's why, like, saying yes sometimes so randomly to this person, like, might lead to something else. Like, this guy doing data analytics might pull off some interesting analytics for CZ. So things are just rolling. And I'm pumped today, man. I'm pumped. Like, I realized that I felt so happy today when we went out to walk my daughter. Like, it's snowy as a motherfuck here, and after Christmas, it's not interesting anymore. But even though the snow was like, I was happy. So I realized you can be super fucking happy in the rain, in the snow, it doesn't matter. And you can be moping while there's, like, sun outside and you live in the nicest place and you can still be like Ross in Friends. So today, nothing can stop your boy. What else? Shoulder workout, absolutely killed it. I actually asked my trainer yesterday, dude, I have to speak at 2x. I think this is the only podcast that people are going to slow down to 1x instead of, you know, speeding it up. I have no other speed. When I see this list, I see the time, 32 minutes. I got to go through everything. So if you need to slow it down, slow it down. I texted my trainer yesterday. I was like, hey, I don't like 30 minutes training anymore. Like, put it 45 minutes. Put it 1 hour. He had a bunch of exercises. Was doing isolated, only shoulder exercises today. And thankfully, I had shoulder issues in the past. Nothing. Heavy weights. Was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They had the best joke ever. This guy in the show grew a goatee. And my favorite character in the world, Gina, she's freaking hilarious, goes like, Boyle, you look like you cleaned the shower drain with your mouth. That's such a good insult, dude. I start to like the show. I take it from 6.5 to 7 rating for now. We'll see how it's going to go. Anyway, after that, like, I was so pumped, just so energetic by the day, that I didn't even think hot shower or cold shower. Just went straight into the cold shower. No music, no motivation, no Cocomelon songs. Just let the cold shower wash over me. I need to change my shower cabin. Because I think the biggest thing, the most annoying thing is just going with that thing, with the bitchy thing around you. Like, I would like, just like in the public spas in hotels, like you have this, what is it called? Bucket of water just falling over your head. And then you have the shower from on top. So it covers your entire body. I need to change my shower. Because I think that's going to make cold showers easier. Because you're going to be immersed in cold water instead of just doing that thing and only your shoulder is immersed in. Anyway, kill the cold shower. Moving on. Happiness is a mindset. Already said that. Move sauna time. Already said that. Runners in the snow. Now they're killing me. I mentioned this. These people who were running in the snow absolutely murdered me. Like, my wife is like, we would walk together and I would start commenting. And she's like, shut up. They can hear you. And I'm like, I don't care. Stay home. Stay home. Dipshits. So annoying with all of their equipment. They're like, oh, it's snowing. Have you seen that clip? Google this clip on YouTube. YouTube this clip. Runners, snow, fall down. But after this podcast, it's going to make not your day, your month. It's going to make your life. There's this lady who's like, they're interviewing her and they're like, oh, so you're enjoying walking in the snow. And she's like, yeah, running in the snow is actually the best because it helps with whatever. And the texture actually of snow, it helps the feet. And as soon as she finishes with her bullshit, 5 meters, she moves from the reporter and falls down on the snow. And I'm like, yes, that's the karma. That's what you get for not staying at home when it's snowing outside. Fucking guys. Many other things. Regarding Benji, I decided we're going to focus on 3 things. So Benji's main features are going to get polished as fuck, especially soon when I finish the course. No more new features, freezing the new features. Planner, to-dos, and habits are going to be the main features of Benji. They're going to be free. Everything else is going to go under the pro plan. So if you want to go get Benji right now, you can go the believer plan for like $40-something per year, which is like $4 per month. Super cheap, because soon everything, right now it's completely free, but everything that was free is going to move to a pro tier, and we're going to focus on only improving habits, tasks, and planner soon. Reminder to get a Valentine's gift if you haven't. I definitely have. If my wife is watching this, wink, wink, I definitely have a plan. Well, I had a big plan. I had a grandiose plan, which fell apart, so I'm leaving it for the next occasion. So I have to do something this week. Hopefully I'll get, I'll figure something out. But this is a reminder for you. Don't fuck up if you forgot. Watch Casey Neistat's video, dude. It made my day. Casey Neistat has a video, Sisyphus King something. I'm not sure what was the title, but this is the last video of his channel. Absolute banger. Loved the video. Made me motivated to stop complaining about my pain. The guy is running with a fucking metal leg. He has metal in his leg from an accident. Not gonna spoil the video. And he's still running marathons. I'm like, 3 years ago I had this pain in my leg and now I cannot do anything. Shut up. Motivating video. Casey, love him. Absolute GOAT of YouTube. No words for that. Today I did the meeting with the physical therapist, so we started again. He's like, hey, long time no see. And I'm like, hey, yeah, last time we did physical therapy, I didn't have a daughter. So it was like years and years ago. So we did a bunch of exercises and I realized when I do those things, my leg actually hurts. So I can keep ignoring the pain. I can skip doing leg workouts and whatever, but the pain is still there. So he's explaining something to me how my core is not activated at all because it's non-existent, right? Your boy is not doing core exercises, not going to have abs if I keep doing only, upper body and not caring about the core. So he was like, you got to strengthen your core. We got to do these like breathing and whatever shit. I'm amazed that some people can know so much about the human body. And even just looking at you, like I've been with this guy in person and also on a video call, like he knows so fucking much. He's mind blown. He knows like exactly where your breath goes and why did you feel certain pain and how the pelvis moves and this and that. So I have a lot of hope. Shut the fuck up, Siri. So I have hope that, but as everything, I mentioned this, no one's going to save you. So this guy showed me what I need to do, and I need to do 2 exercises 2 times per day for 5 repetitions until our next call. And if I don't do that, that's what I did last time. Like nothing is going to improve. So hopefully, let me pause and add it to my habit. All right, there's no I hope so. Like you either put it as a habit, I put it here as a habit, 5x leg exercises. Well, I did it with him. So only once. Let's say I did it in the evening and here I'm going to mark it as skip. But just don't, like, I hate when, like, for example, when we're planning something with my wife and she says a to-do and I immediately ask her, but did you add this as a to-do? No, it's not going to happen. Most of the time, either it's a to-do habit project, but add it somewhere. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. What else? I decided I'm going to go back to my Sunday with no devices. We were doing that with my wife at some point. So it's like, I'm going to turn off the internet, except like the Internet of Things, that one's going to work. We're going to put our devices somewhere in a room on Saturday night, and the entire Sunday we're going to be deviceless. No TVs, no phones, no tablets. We're going to play board games, we're going to walk, we're going to hang out with people. So hopefully we keep this as a tradition this time because we really, really, really need it. I guess that's it. I don't have any books, movies, quotes, TV shows, games, whatever to recommend to you, so I'm just going to skip that section. I don't know why is it empty. I'm going to thank you very much for watching, especially the donuts who leave a donut in the comments. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting. Join our Discord. Follow me on Twitter. We can argue about some random things like instant coffee versus real coffee and yada, yada, yada. And I guess I'll ask you who is the singer of Chandelier. See ya in the next one.